we have to stay the course. I mean, you just, it's like you have to, and I talked about on other podcasts that, you know, research was so important to me. I feel like you need to learn your craft. And like I said, with our kids, it's like, tell them to do their homework before getting into something. You know what you're doing. You said on the last podcast, count up the cost, you know, on what you're going to do. And then once you get into it, stay consistent, be persistent, and don't quit. You have to have the right attitude. And when you're trying to develop the right attitude, you got to have the right kind of people around you. If you got a bunch of quitters around you, you got a bunch of people that haven't accomplished anything or can't see anything further than their nose in front of them, you can't get advice from them. You can't let them alter your decisions. You can't let them discourage you. You know what you got. You know, you've done the research. You know what you got to do to be successful. And that's what you got to tell them. Right. Because when our kids get out there, man, it's crazy. I was looking at a documentary of The Ultimate Warrior, the biography. I think it was on A&E. You remember the Ultimate
Wrestler?
Wrestler, yeah. And he grew up, I think his dad had left them, and I think his mom was raising them as a single mother. He was in a small town in Indiana, and he wanted to be famous. He always had a chip on his shoulder, like he felt like a second-class citizen in his hometown. And he said, y'all gonna remember me. You know, he had that attitude. And he had got a desire to be, you know, famous like most kids, like a lot of kids do. And he wanted to be a bodybuilder because he got inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was one of the biggest movie stars back then. And he went and he said he talked to his teacher or his guidance counselor one. And he told her about his dreams and what he wanted to do. She told him, and he said it on a documentary, she said, put that away. She said, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Put all that silly stuff away. I'll tell you what you need to do. And he was going into his senior year. She said, this summer, you need to go to the factory, work a little bit this summer, and then go back to school. You got your work experience now. She said, go back to school, graduate. Once you graduate, then try and get a job at the factory. That's what you need to do. And I said, how many, and no, that's no shot against the teachers. I've worked in education for several years. There's a lot of good teachers out there. And that lady, she probably was telling him what she knew. That was what she knew. That's what success was to her.
Right.
But imagine if he had to just sat there and just listened to her. And didn't,
yeah.
He had done the research. He had looked at all the magazines. He knew what to do. He felt like he could do it. And then this person tells you that you can't do it. Or tells you that that's just silly. He would have never gotten to the heights that he got. He would never been in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He never would have been world champion. He never would have beat Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan was the hottest thing out back then. He would have never got to those lengths. He would have never got to those heights if he had to sat there and just listened and did the logical thing. The logical thing is not always the right thing. Sometimes you got to do things outside the box if you want to be different.
Yeah.
Like Dame Dash said, everybody want to be a circle and a square. That might not be your shape. Do something different. You know? So, I don't know. Stuff like that bothers me.
And then sometimes too, yeah, you know, it's so messed up that, you know, this particular, that's the advice that she gave. And how many other times has that happened where a teacher or someone of influence has basically crushed someone's dreams just because they didn't see it, because you couldn't see the success or you don't see the value in it, and then you just kind of crush someone's dream and try to put them on a different path, the path that you think is better, and that's kind of messed up. But one of the things I would also say is that and I've heard people say it like this: sometimes a letdown, aka a failure, can be a setup, for bigger and better things. And a lot of times, setups, letdowns happen to us as fathers. So if you're a father out there and you got a letdown because of some bad decision you made, or you got a letdown based on, you lost your job, or some bad news, or a bad break, or a tough break, or some type of diagnosis of something, I'm telling you, keep going, keep persevering, keep trying, keep that same tenacious attitude of don't quit, because your kids are watching. And we say it all the time, you're a teacher of your kids. And what are you teaching them? You teaching them to fold and throw your hands up in the air and say, woe is me, or you're going to teach them get back in the game and succeed and keep trying, so you eventually overcome.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm dealing with some things now that I failed at, but like I said, you can't look at yourself as a failure. And like you said, it's kind of like a blessing, and it kind of makes me think, okay, well, if this is not working out like I want it to work out, then maybe this door over here is where I really need to go. So sometimes you got to take, where it may be a failure, or it may be something that may be inconvenient to you, or something that's not really working out in your favor, and look at it as a positive, that this may be something, maybe this might be telling me that I need to do something else, or go into a different venture, or go into another avenue, so I just say, and I know people say it all the time, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Yeah.
That's right. That's the way to do it.
Yep. Or when life gives you a lemon, then take the seed from the lemon, plant it in the ground, and get a lemon tree, and then sell the rest of the lemons.
Yeah, that too.
So
Whatever
we just gotta think outside the box, and like I said in the last episode, we gotta teach our kids how to think outside the box. If this is not working, stop trying to make it work. Look at what other options do you have. Look at what other skills do you have. Go from that. Take that on.
Yeah.